welcome to the second workshop of the virtual Edinburgh International Harp Festival. Our second tutor for you today is none other than Wendy Stewart. Wendy's classes are always really popular at our Harp Festival, and well, her tunes are played all around the world. So we're really excited to see what she's going to be teaching you all. Remember, head along to our website afterwards and you can download the PDF for the music. And of course, make sure you head to Wendy's website as well. This is her website address. And have a look at some of her CDs and books so you can continue learning her music. So, enjoy!
Hi there, it's Wendy Stewart. Sorry we can't all be together, but I'm going to teach a version of the very well-known Robert Burns song, Call the Yows to the Nows, since he lived just near where I do in Dumfries and Galloway, southwest Scotland. So there's two versions. I'll do a couple of videos and I'll play through it really slowly and then do it all together at the end as well. So hope you enjoy it. It's for two different levels. I've written some notes as well, which you should be able to get to read through some little bits. And also put in my email, so do get in touch if you've got any queries. There's lots of different versions of this. Everyone has their own sort of take on the melody. This is the tune that I've sort of sung since I was at primary school, the rhythm of it. And basically I've arranged it trying to show different ways of doing things with the tune. So you have a chord pattern to start with, you have the tune, then the same chord pattern in different form, tune maybe in a slightly different form, and then the chord pattern to finish. So it shows how you can vary an arrangement. Hope you enjoy it. Harp's in G, but we're actually playing in A minor. So it's one of those strange sort of modes. Hope you enjoy it. So we're starting off with just the right hand. I'll do the easy version. Version 1 first is the easy version. And I'm sorry my harp's the wrong way round. I haven't worked out how to flip it yet. So we've got our right hand on root chords to begin with. The A above middle C. So it's a root chord A, C, E. So you're going to play, and in the music, if you've got the music there, we've got the chords written in. A minor twice, G twice, E minor twice, D twice, all root chords. We're in 3/4, so if I count 3 in, this is how the first line sounds. 1, 2, 3. G, E minor, D, then we're on to our next line, bar 9, and it's the same idea. I'm using chords, but just one per bar now because they're slightly harder shapes. These are inversions. Above them, I've written what the root symbol is for all of them. E minor, C, G, G, A minor, B minor, but I'm using different inversions this time. So bar 9, I've got an E minor root chord, so that's E, G, B for 3 beats, and then E, G, C for 3 beats, and then D, G, B for 3 beats. Still a G chord, but a different inversion, going down to B, D, G, then down to the root chord again, A minor, so it's A, C, E, B, D, F, on to the next line, bar 15, so the last root chord is C, E, G, and then you have a silent 3 beats to get ready for the next bit. So we're at bar 17, and this is where the tune comes in. The tune I've got, after 3, I'll play through, it's in 2 halves really, I always think of the tune. First half's not too difficult. After 3, it goes 1, 2, 3, A, B, E, D, B, D, B, E, D, sorry, B, E, G, B, A, G even, up an octave, G, F, G, A. I always think of that as the first half. I was saying that takes us up to bar 24. Second half jumps around a bit more. Try and get the notes right this time. B, E, 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 D, G, B. The last bit, A, B, D, and 2 E's. And that takes us up to bar 22. Along with that tune, if we go back to bar 17, we've got the same chords that you did to begin with, exactly the same shape. So root chords to begin with and then going into inversions. But I'm playing them in two different rhythms. I start off with 2 quavers and a minim, and then at the end I slow down to just having a few bars of straight crotchets. So if I play the tune with it, you'll get the idea. So I'm starting now with the A minor root chord, but down an octave. So I'm starting round about middle C. My tune is up here. I'll put the two together, but I would practice them separately. 1, 2, 3. There, because what I've done, I'm at bar 23 into 24. The bar 23 has the D major chord down there, and I jump up an octave, and that's what that eighth variation means, up an octave. So it's the same chord but up an octave, and now everything else is going to be played up an octave from where it's written, just to make it easier for you to read. So we're at bar 25 now. It's the second half of the tune, the B down to E in the tune. Sorry, and the left hand is doing its inversion. So it starts with an E minor root chord. 1, 2, 3. And then I slow down in the left hand. And at bar 32, I just add in a little C below the E there. Okay? So that's once through the tune. That's going to repeat later on exactly the same, so you don't have to worry about that. Now at bar 33, we're going back to the to the chords, but this time just amplifying it a bit. So you're still doing it in the right hand as you did before, and the left hand is coming in exactly the same, an octave lower. You can just do that if you want. If you can manage it, just to do it together, and then repeat the right hand. It makes a nice little sort of wave or heartbeat kind of feel. So trying that from bar 33 if you can, up to bar 40, and then the same inversions change slightly different. So bar 33, 1, 2, 3. G, E minor, D, and then just do one for 3 beats because you're about to change, okay? We're at bar 41, top of the second page. You're doing exactly the same inversions that you did at bar 9 in the right hand. You're adding them in again in the left, and you're trying to ripple if you can, which means going from the bottom to the top quite quickly. If you can't manage that, just play them straight and get used to 2 hands. So at bar 41, after 3, 1, 2, 3. And a silent bar, bar 48. Just leave it ringing because you're about to come in with a tune, so you have to think how to do that. Exactly the same as before, but a bit louder maybe. Up the octave with the D, inversions. Now you're about to change, so slow down the chords. Just play an E here. So this is bar 63, 64. I mention it in the notes as well, that I'm changing the last chord. I'm going from a C change to an E at the end. And to begin with, at bar 63, I just play an E. And it's actually as written. I've stopped the 8th variation up an octave, so it's the E above middle C, and your note is playing E in the right hand, and then at Ral, you just play that E again, slowly. And then you're about to go into your last bit, which is chords again, but this time instead of playing them in the middle of the octave, you're up the octave here, your highest octave. So your A, C, E is up here. Now here, you could add in the left hand again if you wanted to. In the complicated version, it's got you playing the tune in the left hand, which is quite tricky. So if you don't want to do that but have the same effect, try singing the tune or humming it. Hopefully you've got it in your head by now. along with this pattern of short note, long note on 1, 2, 3. Not that easy, but let's have a go. And then right at the end again, I change it to an E chord and change the shape slightly right at the end and add in an E in the bass. So we're trying from bar 65 after 3. 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. Change it to B, E, G, and then G, B, E, and a single E in the bass. And that's the whole thing. You can slow it down at the end. I'll try it all the way through after 3. 1, 2, 3. Octave with the D. Slow down the left hand. C and then C, E together. Chords. Tune 1, 2, 3. Hello, it's Wendy Stewart here. This is the second version of Call the Yows to the Nows, a bit more advanced, but since I was supposed to be teaching a class on duets, which may not be that easy for some of you at the moment, I thought I'd put it in anyway. So if you have anyone else in the household that could play the tune or anything on another instrument, just adapt the two versions that I've sent out and have fun with it if you can. It's a time for all playing together, I think. So this is version 2 and takes the same ideas that I had in version 1 but develops them a bit more in two hands, fuller chords, different ways of playing them and that kind of thing. But as I say in my notes, feel free to mix the two together and to adapt them how you want. So I won't go through in such detail. because hopefully you can play it over a bit more. So basically same idea that we've got starting with chords, but this time we're in two hands, very top octave and the one below that, so still above middle C. So we're starting with our chords here. That's what the 8th variation at the top there means. Both hands are up an octave, so we're up here to begin with, and we're starting with that pattern. Then at bar 9 we're doing exactly the same as with our inversions, but this time, because we're starting with the E minor inversion, we're playing them in two hands and running them. So split between the two hands, 3, 2, 1 with the left hand just above middle C, and 3, 2, 1 with the right hand. Nice ripply harp chords. Left hand over. And then we're at bar 17 for the tune. Tune exactly the same as in the easy version, but this time the chords are doing your and rhythm, which for some of you might not be as easy to do. Just do the first beat in the bar if that's easier for you, or take the first version as well. But that would sound like this. And so on all the way through. And then at bar 25 we have, well actually at bar 24 we've done coming up the octave again with the D, just to get you in the right place. So bar 25 we're doing the chords again, but this time like the version 1. So we have and then slowed down as before, and the same bit there. So that little section from bar 25 is exactly the same as the first version. You could add to it if you wanted to change the chord shape or something like that. I've just kept them as inversions and root chords for that part. Then at 33, same idea again as the simple version, but it's quite fun to try and ripple when you have the two hands together and then play the right hand straight. So at bar 33 on an A minor root chord in both hands, so this left hand is around middle C now, and the right hand is an octave above. So what I'm doing here is going ripple straight. So ripple together, straight with the right. Should sound like this. So the effect I'm trying to go for is like a little heartbeat. And then on G. And so on all the way through. The last D, just leave it ringing. Then bar 41 we're going into inversions, the same as you had before. So I've got an E minor inversion, but this time instead of playing from the bottom to the top, which we do all the time, try playing it from the top to the bottom and emphasizing the top note. So bar 41 I've got E, G, B coming from the bottom in both hands, but think of it from the top. So from the top we have B, G, E, both hands. Okay, so straight quavers all the way down, and then the second inversion from the top is now C, G, E in both hands. And then the third one is B, G, D in both hands, and this time I thought it might be quite nice to go down and come back up. So this sounds, bar 43 sounds like. So exactly the same notes down as up, so bar 43 again. Quite good, and you got a crotchet beat at the end, slightly paused to get into your next shape, which is bringing in our octave and fifth in the left hand, 4, 2, 1 inversions in the right hand. So I've got A, E, A in the left and C, E, A in the right. Playing it together. Up 1, sorry, and up 1 to C. That's bar 47, and a little linking bit extra. It goes C, B, G, and that gets you into bar 49, which is where the tune's coming in again. And that little section needs to build slightly. So from 41, where you've got the inversions going down, and then back up on 43, and then build it into your octave and fifths, because 49 is kind of the high point, certainly the loudest point. It's where you're playing your tune, but with left hand doing much bigger chords. Sorry. So all I've done is adding in inversions in the right hand, like this. that first part. So those inversions just get from the music, or just play the tune straight if you find it easier. The left hand, it's quite nice to try this if you can, if you're at that level, because it builds it up quite nicely. So what we have basically is 4, 2, 1 with your fingers, or octave and fifth kind of chords, but I'm running the first one up. So I'm going on the first chord on bar 49, it's A, E, A. Sorry, I got a bit of a buzz here. A, E, A. Second under onto the B, C. So I'm going 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. A, E, A, B, C. And that's 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. And I'm doing that every alternate bar. And the ones in between, which are a copy of the same, if you remember our chord pattern goes A minor, A minor. So the first one is a running one, and the second one is up an octave, so it's a round middle C, and just going A, E, A. So you're not just playing the chord in the same place. So I do that on A, and then I do it on G, so that's going to be G, D, G, A, B, and then a G, D, G. Then E minor, which is kind of favourite chord, E, B, G, E, B, E, and then the D one is slightly different. I didn't do it from the bass, you could do it from the bass, but I quite like it because the tune is up high, of playing it up high and carrying on, putting my second under one more time. So this is bar 55, and it sounds like this: D, A, D, E, F, G, A, just running all the way up. Obviously, if you wanted to put your fourth under, 4, 3, 2, 1, you could do that there. Because it's quite high, I find 2, 1, 2, 1 easier. And you've been doing 2, 1 for all the other ones. So I'll just play that together, because that's a kind of the hardest section, possibly. And so let's do it from bar 47. Which is the end of your bit before, where you got a C chord, leading in, tune, G chord, E minor, D higher. So you end up with a nice chord at 56. Yes, 56. And then we're into our second part of the tune. Now here I've just put in some rippling chords together, but the main thing with this part is that it ends up on an E minor chord. That's again is in the notes, and sort of the C chord that I've had at the end of most of the other parts, I'm ending up in an E minor chord. So I'll play it from 56. We have the last chord that we had on our D, sorry, A at the top, and now B, E, E in the melody with an E minor. Slightly different chords there. I'll just play that again, make sure I got that right. E minor, C, then G, and then D, G, B. So that's slightly different from before, which is why I got it wrong first time. And then into the same idea as before with slower, not slow left hand rather, sorry, but the A minor, B minor, but going to E minor twice. Why I didn't slow down the left hand here is that you're about to go into a big E minor chord with quavers. So I wanted to keep it as the same pattern there. You could vary it and slow it down if you wanted. But I'm at 61, so it's an A minor. Sorry about the buzz. B minor. And then we've got an E minor chord all the way up. So I'm playing here an inversion in the right hand of G, B, E. And the left hand is playing E, B, E. Then I'm going to bring my right hand down and follow the chord all the way up with this same shape of G, B, E. Slowing down all the time. This is over 63 and 64. Goes like this. 1, 2, 3. And you can slow that down as much as you like if you're playing on your own, obviously. Trying to listen to others if you're playing with others. I'll just play that again, 63 into 64, because you have to think ahead for that bit. So we have our chord, bring it down, the right hand, left hand over, right hand over, and keep your right hand up there, because that top E note is the top of your next chord, which is going to be your ACE, the A minor root chord up here. And this pattern is exactly the same as how you started, same rhythm and everything. The the inversions will change at the end, the last 2 bars, because we're going to an E minor inversions. But the main thing about this part is trying to play the tune in the left hand along with that pattern, which can be a bit tricky. So in the easier version, I suggested singing it if you wanted. If you're playing with someone else, they could play the tune on a cello or violin or something, would sound really nice, or flute, playing along with this little pattern. I use that quite a lot in harp stuff, of having an effect at the top and the tune being played below, if you can. If you're really sneaky, you could play it like this and have your right hand down low and your left up high, but it is quite in your face there, because obviously you're used to doing it, but it's good for the brain to be doing it the other way around if you can. So that from bar 65 sounds like this. Okay, we're halfway through, and it's countersounds before, same inversions. Sorry. Okay, and now their very last bit, so it's bar 77, the last line, is going to change. We still have the A minor inversion here, B minor, but then we go to B, E, G, play a note, and then I quite like the bottom E at the end, along with G, B, E. Felt nice to end up on the "that's your melody note" from what you've been singing, but you could change the ending if you wanted to as well. Okay, so here is a full run through Call the Owls to the Nows version 2, the more complicated version. I'll move it around a bit and add a few more dynamics than what's written, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, after 3, 1, 2.